this state is seen. If you go back in elections, it was in 1971 that the DMK won 184 seats. So that is the highest number of seats that DMK has won ever. The second highest was 173 in 1996. So can they beat that 184 tally? That's what they'd be hoping for. I know we've spoken to MK Stalin and his close associates about this. If they're able to do better than the father did ever at his peak, Stalin would really have hit the big league, leading the party to a bigger victory. We don't know whether that will happen, but it will be interesting to see. Let's just go across to the election intelligence dashboard and take you through the numbers from West Bengal. At this moment, if you were to look at the latest tally, and I'll give you a sense of the political map of West Bengal as it's shaping up at this moment. Of the leads that we have, 129 of them for the Trinamool, 120 for the BJP. We have leads for 255 seats, about 40 seats not counted yet. The left leading only on 3. Rajdeep, the BJP, as expected, has done really well in northern Bengal. It's done well in the Bardhaman area. It seems to be doing well in Midnipur. And the point that Kanchan Gupta is making is holding, especially in the Amphan hilt belts of southern Bengal. You've got the Saffron party doing well, and their corruption was an issue. Their the fact that relief didn't reach at the right time, that you had to pay local cadres money, that didn't go down well, and that seems to be showing up in the belt.
As of now, the BJP is making gains across Bengal, by and large. However, it is not making the kind of huge gains that it would have wanted to have a sweep. What it has done is become very competitive, and Amphan was a major flaw in Mamata Banerjee's governance. It was an opportunity. You know, it was 2020. It was 1 year after your Lok Sabha setback. In a way, it was a setback that the BJP won 18, she won 22. And this was in your belt, in 24 South Parganas, in areas which were your strongholds. So provide people. How can you have cut money over cyclone relief? Unacceptable.
To say that this is not a very strong performance is to take away from where both sides are coming from. Trinamool from where it's coming from in 2016, BJP given where it's coming from in 2016, they've really come a big way. So it's a phenomenally strong performance, but that was for a Lok Sabha election.
Also.
But that's in a Lok Sabha election. Sure. They've been able to do that in an assembly election is very, very credible.
You know, the fact is, and that's where Amphan plays a role. If you, in your own stronghold, are not able to provide the people of that area the kind of benefits they need in a crisis, they will vote against you. Mamata Banerjee, to my mind, has made 2 big mistakes. She may still survive to fight another day. There's every possibility of that happening, but 2 mistakes that made it so close. One was the 2018 Panchayat polls, where you virtually intimidated your rivals. 34% of seats were not contested. And 2020 Amphan, a cyclone rips through your strongholds. I would have thought Mamata, because she's a all said and done a people's leader, she would have sat in those areas, made sure that the collectors ensured that relief reached the people. Instead, she outsourced it to many of her local leaders who let her down.
No, and it shows that you can't take power for granted.
And if she still survives, it's because they at least changed sufficient number of those local MLAs. Look, one of the reasons why they may yet survive is in ticket distribution, and I think the likes of Prashant Kishore played a role there, ensured that a large number of candidates, 28 MLAs dropped, 160 odd new faces or new candidates, some in different constituencies, but that at least made sure that some of the local anti-incumbency may have been arrested. It may not be enough, but at least it's given Mamata Banerjee a chance. To my mind, had she stuck to those MLAs, they would have been voted out. People are angry with them, and Didi retains a lot of her own personal equity.
That is hugely to Mamata Banerjee's credit.
She retains her personal equity.
In that sense, there are some similarities between her and Narendra Modi, where even though there may be MPs who people are unhappy with, very few when you travel during an election will curse the Prime Minister because they think he's a good man, he's working hard as much as he can. Similarly with Mamata Banerjee, huge anti-incumbency against the BJP MLAs, against their BJP party workers for the corruption that they were engaging in, but not so much against Mamata Banerjee. People saying Mamata Banerjee is a good person, she's a good leader. What I want to do now for the first time is get into a margin calculator. What the margin calculator does is gives you a sense of how many seats this time have a margin where the gap between the winner and the runner-up is less than 500 or less than 1,000 or less than 2,000. So we'll put it out. with the caveat that these are initial numbers, things will change. But from what we are picking up at present, I'll start with seats where the gap is less than 500. We currently have, okay, so we just still need some time because, you know, these are very, very initial leads. 4 seats where the gap between the winner and the runner-up is less than 1,000. These are the seats of Baisanagar, Chapra, Maldaha. 3 leads for the Trinamool, 1 for the BJP. This is where the gap is less than 1,000. Let's look at seats where the gap is less than 5,000. Here you've got 8 seats, 6 of those for the Trinamool, 2 for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's now look at seats where the gap is less than 10,000. But then, you know, the thing is that this is very, very early, and this, of course, will keep evolving as the situation plays on. Here's a look at the overall seat matrix of West Bengal as it appears at this moment. The Trinamool Congress currently with 139 leads, the BJP with 116 leads, the CPM with 1. If you were to go into a region-by-region breakup of West Bengal, and if you were to look at the presidency region, out of the 100 or the 108 leads in presidency, 64 are for the Trinamool, 34 for the BJP. So the Trinamool, you know, doing well in presidency, but the BJP is also in comparison with remember, when you assess the West Bengal election, your benchmark has to be the 2019 Lok Sabha election, because if you compare with 2016 assembly election, the whole political grammar of the state of West Bengal has changed. So it's an irrelevant comparison. Compare with 2019, the BJP has gained from where it was. In Midnipur, at this moment, we have 46 leads available, 28 for the BJP, 18 for the Trinamool. So in region after region, there are tight pitched battles currently taking place. In Malda, you've got the Trinamool at 29, the BJP at 12. A big, big lead there for the Trinamool. So you've actually got different trends in different regions. In Midnipur, you've got the BJP ahead. In Malda, you've got the Trinamool way ahead. In Jalpaiguri, you've got the BJP way ahead, 16 versus 5.
And if Mamta wins, she should send a whole box of rasagullas to the Congress and left. What has happened in Malda particularly, the Congress bastion has switched. You see,
no, but why send Rasagullas? Is there incompetence? Because once again, why send Rasagullas to Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary? First, they hate each other, both of them.
Because that will look in a tight contest. Out of all the regions that you have given, you see, outside her bastion, the one region where she seems to have established a clear lead over the BJP is Malda Murshidabad.
It shows that the Muslim community has voted tactically whoever they thought would be. So how is it why should Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary get any Rasgullas?
Because, you see, if the Congress, you see, what was one of the fears that the, election strategy, one of the fears was Congress left ISF, this, party of
Indian Secular League,
the Indian Secular Front of a local Muslim, Furfura Sharif, the local cleric. They will take a section of the vote that would otherwise go to Mamta. What has happened clearly is that as the campaign went on, in 6th, 7th, 8th round, with every round you're seeing a greater polarization. By the time Malda Murshidabad comes, the polarization is so complete that the traditional Congress voter says, Congress jeetne nahi wala, I'll give it to Mamta. I want to defeat the BJP. So the Congress also stopped campaigning. The Congress in any case was in a defeatist mode in Bengal, and Mamta has benefited from the Congress's defeatism. And therefore, she needs to give the Rasgullas to them.
You're giving too much credit to the Congress.
I'm not credit.
One second. The Congress was never in the race. And it is the Muslim community in Malda and Murshidabad that figured out that their fortunes will be wasted if they vote for the Congress. They voted for whoever they thought could help the BJP. 75% Muslim consolidation, according to the India Today Access My India exit poll, amongst the Muslim community in favor of the Trinamool. If the Trinamool were to win today, winning such a large percentage of the Muslim vote is a key part. And remember, the arithmetic of West Bengal is such that it's much easier for the Trinamool to win than it is for the BJP, because the Trinamool almost starts out with 25-30% of the vote in their kitty. The BJP starts out with 0. So they have to win a disproportionate majority of the majority. You need to win about 2/3 of the majority vote to win, which is a higher level of religious consolidation than you're typically able to register, Rajdeep.
Okay, interesting the way you're putting it. Let's quickly give you the headlines.